everybody. This is Brian David Marshall coming to you from the Tournament Center at Pro Tour Born of the Gods here in Valencia, Spain. I'm here with Arjan Van Leeuwen, and we're going to talk about crazy combo number 6. We saw a segment during the Pro Tour where Randy Buehler was talking about all the crazy combos you could do in Magic, and I actually played against a series of those decks when I was playing Magic Online, doing some testing and preparing for this Pro Tour. And one of the decks that I play tested against, I was like, I was cursing and I was screaming. I was very unsportsmanlike to my computer as I was playing, and I kept it to myself. I didn't enter anything into the keyboard or anything, but I hope that it wasn't you, because I kept losing to this crazy rack deck, you know, and I was like, this isn't a real deck. How could someone play this in Modern? But it's very real. Yeah. And what led you to play this deck?
Well, it's just a fun deck to play.
Is fun like a word in Dutch that means something different?
It's just funny. Not for the opponents, but it's easy to play, and if you don't have too much time to prepare, this is a really good deck to play. And nobody expects it. Sure,
no, it's definitely under the radar. Now, you had a friend play this deck in a Grand Prix, and you saw them be pretty successful with it?
Yeah, a friend of mine, Jan Miller, he played in Prague with it and almost made top 8, and talked a little bit about the deck with him. I gave him some advice, and well, I was happy with it, and I tried it here.
Well, one of the things you like when you're building a constructed deck is redundancy. You like to be able to sort of draw your hand and know you're going to see cards that do what you want to do with your deck. And then we look at this first slide, we see a lot of redundancy. We see hand destruction. We see 16 pieces of hand destruction right here. 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Inquisition of Kozilek, 4 Raven's Crime. That could be like 24, 25 pieces of hand destruction with some lands in hand. Wrenchmind. So this has got to be a control player's nightmare matchup.
I hope so. The plan is really simple, and just empty the hand as soon as possible, and then try to take over.
So let's take a look at the next slide, and you can talk to me about how you're taking over. Oh, let's see. You have no cards. I would like you to take some damage. I would like you to take some lose some life. Oh, I would like you to not be able to attack. This seems like...
I don't have a lot of answers to permanents in play, so I have to get some kind of control. That's where the Ensnaring Bridge comes.
Right. No thoughts to something like a Damnation or a Mutilate or any other kind of like black... You know, when we talk about mono black control, you think about like board sweepers.
Yeah. Would be possible, but I like this a bit more. It's cheaper, and many decks don't have answers to Ensnaring Bridge first game.
And how much trouble do you see people having dealing with these two cards here?
Well, first they're going to read the card.
You know you're doing your job as a deck builder, where someone has to read the card you played.
And then it's okay.
So at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, he or she loses 3 life.
Yeah, and it's really a fast clock. If it's on play, then a couple of turns and it's over.
Right. And then of the rack, this is a card that goes all the way back to the earliest days of Magic.
Yeah, it got reprinted.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was on the time shifted sheet.
Yeah, time spiral.
Yeah, time spiral. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and see. You know, so you actually have even more hand destruction in the form of Liliana the Veil and Smallpox.
Yeah, some Smallpoxes, even more in the sideboard.
Yeah, and then the Smallpox, where does this card really shine for you?
Well, of course against creature decks, but also demolishes your land and also a card, so all in one card. Right. And the Dark Confidant, of course, if you empty their hand, then play Confidant and take over from there. Yeah, you're just ripping through your deck. Yeah. So let's take a look at what the land is in a deck like this. This is something unusual. We have not seen a lot of double-digit basic land totals in the Tournament Center this weekend when we're doing modern decks. 19 swamps. Not so many problems dealing with Blood Moon then. What's that? I don't have problems with Blood Moon. Yeah, right. You're pretty good to Blood Moon. We see Urborg, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth.
So this also makes your opponent's land swamps? What's the advantage here?
You can, in the situation where you have Mutavault and Urborg, you can still cast a 2.
Excuse me?
If you have Mutavault and Urborg, you can still cast a 2 black spell.
A Smallpox?
Yeah, Smallpox or Rainsmind.
So a lot of times you only have a couple lands in play. And sure, okay.
Ah, this is the sideboard already.
Okay, so even more hand destruction in the sideboard.
Against control, against creature decks.
2 more Smallpox. And Ensnaring Bridge.
Yeah. Not really necessary, I think.
Not really necessary?
No.
Okay. Let's go ahead. Dismember, obviously, for the control decks. Yeah. I'm curious about these 2 cards. Tell me about what you're using Nihil Spellbomb for.
Yeah, against the Living End. And the Pyromancer Ascension decks.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Storm decks have a problem.
Storm decks, yes.
Yeah, they have a problem dealing with this because they really want to pass some flames and get all their cards.
The graveyard is really important. Yeah. And if you discard a hand and then don't give them a chance to reuse it again.
Right. And then what about Torpor Orb?
Yeah, that's against Pot. Really bad matchup, but
right. So we just had a chance to watch you playing against Birthing Pod. It's a difficult matchup for you. I assume that this is an important card.
Yeah, sideboard.
If you're going to get a little bit of an edge there.
Yeah. And at least that is difficult for them to combo.
Right.
And against Twin.
Okay. And then what else do we have? Is that I think that's the sideboard.
Yeah, that's it.
If you were going to go play in a PTQ. Would this be the kind of deck you would want to play with in Modern? Is this?
Certainly.
Do you take the lessons from here and go do it? Are there any changes you would make, or anything you would do differently in the sideboard?
No, not much. It's pretty much like it is. Maybe if there are some new decks, then you have to adjust it a bit. But I would definitely play it again.
Okay. And then if your opponent's just playing something like, if you're in a metagame where people are playing blue, white, red, control, kind of like draw cards, do all sorts of stuff, you love this deck against that deck?
Yeah, against blue decks, it should be really fine to play this, yes.
Have you played against any of the so-called blue moon decks this weekend?
Blue Moon?
The mono blue decks that have been running around.
I haven't seen them yet.
You haven't seen any? Okay. No. All right. Well, there you have it. Mono black control. It's really like a rack Smallpox discard deck. It's kind of crazy. For Arjan Van Leeuwen, this is Brian David Marshall signing off from the Tournament Center.